covering the Low Country's finest conservative talk radio, serving Hilton Head, Bluffton, Beaufort, Savannah, and beyond. Featuring your host, Big Al Flowers, with co-host Jeff Zapp, two patriots who are unashamed to speak truth as they stand for God, family, and country. Join them as they discuss hot issues, breaking news, politics, sports, faith, and more, keeping the Low Country entertained and informed. Listen at TalkOneRadio.com or watch them streaming live on Rumble.com. Taking your calls at 843-800-1492. Don't be left out in the marsh. Find your voice on the Low Country's finest talk radio. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, only on TalkOne Radio.
All right, folks. Good evening. Al Flowers here on TalkOne Radio, TalkOne Radio Network. We're happy to be here tonight as it's virtually the big hump day. Wednesday, the 12th of January, 50 degrees out there in Bluffton. It's clear skies. Gotta love it. Mid-60s in the daytime and dropping down to a bit chilly on the evening side. We shut the windows. We used to like to have them open, but now when it's down around 30s, no way. It's great to have you. Jeff's not in tonight. Won't be in until next week, hopefully. He's at home tending family. And all the best with that. I know it's a scary time when people get sick in your family. You got to just kind of hang tight and keep the chicken soup on the stove. Keep everybody entertained the best you can and keep them comfortable. So all the best to my brother, the Zapper, and family. Another nutty day in the carnival they call Washington, D.C. today. It was another nomination that was tried to ram through. This Andre Matthias kid out of Tennessee. Yeah, he's got a record. He's got quite a record of driving while suspended, tickets up the wazoo. And he's like 1 for 10 on his appellate briefs. So, needless to say, it was one of these last-minute nominations by the Biden crew, trying to ram through a person of color. I don't get it. I mean, it was an embarrassment to watch the hearing today and watch the young man struggle. And he's been a lawyer for quite a while, but he's got no experience. They want to make him a federal judge, lifetime appointment. It's crazy. I mean, they'll do anything at this point in time. I mean, if you thought it was bad that they're shipping people from the southern border all over the country without vetting them out and screening them for COVID, I mean, they're doing what they said they were going to do, stack the court, do whatever they can to steamroll their voice overall. And look, this Voting Rights Act that they're pressing forward on, they think, they use all the buzzwords, Jim Crow era, and all this. It's absolute nonsense. We have to deal with this in this country. And Joe Biden, I don't think he knows what's going on, quite frankly. But on the brighter side, we're back on YouTube. For how long, I don't know. The minute you start talking about the vid, or anything like that, you got problems. You got big problems. I mean, they censor you right down. Even though it's a private entity, they don't care. They're working for the government. I got a couple stories that'll set you off tonight. One is about the teachers union and how the White House actually inspired them to write that memorandum to the Department of Justice. We got proof of that now. We got the emails for that. So, I mean, the collusion is high and wide from this White House group, trying to weaponize everything that they can, not only the DOJ, the FBI, CIA, all the other three-letter organizations in this country. But now they got the unions, the teachers' unions are hopping right on board. They found themselves with, the keys to the Corvette as a 16-year-old group. It's unbelievable that these people are just trying to tip us over, grind us down. And what it all amounts to is that you'll either get your mind right or you'll be punished for not, walking the walk, just like we tell you to. It's happening all over the country and our neighbors up north. The premier in province of Quebec is talking about fining people that aren't vaccinated. I mean, these are hefty fines also. Not only will you not be able to go to the movies or go out to dinner and take a train ride, but if you don't have your papers in order, it's an automatic fine. Starts off at like $1,600. More on that later. All right, tonight's guest. I can't wait to have a chat with Sheri Few. She represents a organization called the South Carolina Parents Involved in Education organization. She's also the president of the national organization, the USPIE. And she's going to enlighten us a little bit about CRT, its impact, and what we can do about it, hopefully. I got a chance just to chat with her briefly on TalkOne last week, but I'm looking forward to really engaging with her tonight and see where we're going. Locally, not much happening as far as I can tell. A elementary school teacher was killed over there on 462, I believe, the other day. That's a sad note. Here's a guy just going to work. He gets nailed in a car accident. That's sad. But let me see here what's going on locally. Jasper County schools will be going remote for a week. So there's the monkey wrench as it tumbles into midweek parenting, especially if both parents work. What are you going to do now? Scramble City. And that has a domino effect, of course. Now they're going to be calling in sick to their jobs. And what are you going to do? The person that has hired them has lost a resource. Got to stay home with little Johnny now. And Jasper County is citing the quarantines and staff shortages. Well, how about that? We're not going to let this thing loose. This Omicron thing is... Things are changing quite rapidly on this. I mean, there'll be another one behind this. I do have a little bit of information on that. There's another one, Deltacron or something like that. This one's a little more serious. Excuse me. The CDC changed tune just before the Omicron virus swept the globe. Here's what they're saying. What the vaccines can't do anymore is prevent transmission. Duh. What they're trying to do is secure Or as Joe Biden says, shut down the virus, shut down the virus. That's all he was mouthing from January till February into March. I'm going to, and while he was campaigning, I'm going to shut down the virus. You're not going to, it's like curing the common cold. You're not going to do it. This thing mutates into many, many different shapes and forms. It's something we got to live with. I mean, don't you remember we used to just get flu shots every year? And nobody really, you could get a flu shot or you couldn't. It's your choice. Now it's not so much a choice. Now it's got a lot of hooks on it. It's called a mandate. It might as well be called a directive or a law. I mean, the way that they're handling it. And we got to be lucky we're not living in, well, even Canada for that matter. We're shutting down everything in Quebec right now. Movie theaters, restaurants, gyms, the whole bit. But over in Australia, I mean, it's like the true penal colony that they were, 150 years ago. I don't get it. Another real quick article about Norton Antivirus. Norton Antivirus has been around a ton. Well, now their latest rendition that they have come out with is that if you install this on your machine, they are linking it to crypto mining. And so they're going to use your machine, your electricity, to mine cryptocurrency. I mean, that comes with the package. And it's unbelievable. It says this expert here in the field says Norton is pretty much amplifying energy consumption worldwide, costing their customers more in electricity use than the customer makes on the mining, yet allowing Norton to make a ton of profit. So you're shared in there, but just by a wink of an eye. And I mean, it's just basically disgusting where these companies are now using your own machine, your electricity, your internet to mine their cryptocurrencies, to fill their bank accounts. And we just sit back and go, well, we need antivirus. I had a story I didn't get to the other night. Joe Biden plans the angry speech in Georgia. I mean, I don't know if anybody's heard that speech or him and Kamala up there, posing and, I mean, really putting it on, just talking about how he was arrested for his civil rights march. And that's another lie. He's never been arrested for anything like that. I don't think he's never been given a traffic ticket because he's never had to drive anywhere in his life. And we all know Bob Saget dies in a Orlando hotel. 3 days prior, he made a statement on his Twitter account that he had just got the booster shot. So, I read an article today on a Police One forums that said that they found him with his left hand over his heart. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying that the booster caused his death, but a fairly healthy 65-year-old man that was humming right along 3 days prior to that, all of a sudden just dies mysteriously of a cardiac event, possibly. Okay, taking a ride down to the southern boundary. I don't call it a border anymore because it doesn't even resemble that. It's just a boundary. The new DHS data reveals border jumpers no longer predominantly Mexican. 28% of those people caught are from places outside of Mexico. Unbelievable the numbers if you really delve into this. The number of people that they've caught down there on the border is pathetic. The agency reported nabbing 388,249 women and girls, up 159% compared to the average of between the years 2014 and 2019. Majority of these people, 44%, come from Central American countries, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and other known Northern Triangle countries, Honduras being one of them. But if you guess what? Guess what the other percentages are? They're people from all over the world. I mean, there's like 13% that were nabbed, were on the terrorist watch list. You get it? You get it, folks? You get the drift of what I'm saying? There's people walking across the southern boundary that mean us harm. I would hate to say it, but I will, because it's a reality. If we continue to let people in the country that want to do us harm, we will find that harm. The harm will find us, no question about it. But there's no crisis at the southern border. Nobody's been there. Biden's not been there. Kamala, what was she in El Paso, about 600 miles away from the hotspots. Or maybe not 600 miles. But she wasn't on the border. She didn't see. She didn't see what was going on down there. She didn't see the kids stacked into those Obama cages and those families. I mean, really, when these people come over, it's not like a family of four, husband, wife, two kids. I mean, these people are basically military age men and women and some children. And children are being farmed out and paid for. Please take my child over the boundary. So they go on the big train ride, and a lot of horrible things happen to those travelers. Then they end up getting run across the border, and they're paying a big, big price. I mentioned it on Monday. $28,000. Someone had to put up $28,000 to the cartels to get across. And then they're put on planes and trains and automobiles, and they're sent into the interior in the middle of the night. And guess who gets to pay for them? The states and the people that live in those states. It's their money that's going out to stand them up. Yeah, the federal government's coming through the back door with a bushel basket full of dollar bills. But what about the impact on the old infrastructure of the whole state? I mean, you can't have a tsunami of people show up. That's what's happening to these southern Texas cities and towns. These people are lighting into these small cities and towns and overwhelming, because they just show up. They just go to the hospital. You get 60, 80 people to a small town emergency room, and you got 4 or 5 staff trying to handle all that. It's like a MASH unit. I don't know, where are we going? We're in trouble. That's for sure. 2021 was the deadliest year ever for law enforcement. Line of duty deaths increased 55% under Joe Biden. 55%. A total of 458 officers died. COVID-19 was responsible for 301 line of duty deaths. The largest category was other at 338 deaths, a 63% increase in that category from last year. And the other includes COVID-19 and other health-related incidents, natural disasters, non-firearm-related violence. Second and third categories for duty deaths were firearms and traffic-related fatalities. Firearm-related killings of law enforcement officers, 62 of them lost their life, a 38% increase from the 45 officers killed in the firearm-related incidents in 2020. Of the 62 firearm fatalities, 19 were ambushed and killed. 8 were investigating suspicious activities or persons. 7 were attempting an arrest. 7 were killed responding to domestic violence calls, which led to a tactical situation and ambush. 7 were domestic calls. 3 were killed during traffic enforcement, which led to an ambush. 3 were fatally shot responding to a burglar or robbery and progress calls. 3 involved drug-related investigations. 2 were killed during tactical encounters. 2 were inadvertently or accidentally shot and killed. 1 was killed during an encounter with a suicidal subject. This is quite a record from Joe Biden, the Fund the Police Democratic chant, along with BLM. I'm sorry, but that's unacceptable in anyone's book. The way that our law enforcement officers are being treated nationwide, being ambushed and killed. I mean, they just had an officer recently, 49-year-old woman, who begged for her life as the 25-year-old kid stood above her and shot her in the face twice, ended her life as she begged for her life. I mean, and we're talking about defunding the police, reimagining the police, coming up with citizens' violence committees that determine whether they're doing their job or not. Or my favorite is Ashley Babbitt, unarmed, shot in the neck by a lieutenant from the Capitol Police. He was exonerated by internal investigations. How that happened, I have no clue. Fear for his life. Now keep in mind that there was 3 SWAT guys right behind her. They were about ready to snatch her off that door, side door, whatever they call it, the side light. And this guy's 30 feet away from her. He just pulls the gun out and shoots her in the face. Kills her. He had never had a chance. If you see the video of it, you're ready to puke. And the guy goes on a national TV news story, or what is it, 60 Minutes or whatever he was on, boo-hooing about how he felt his life was in danger. Lucky he was 30 feet away from her, because the SWAT guys that were right behind him, you're supposed to have be cognizant of what's around you when you start unleashing your pistol out of the leather there. You can't just drag it out and blast away. I mean, they're lucky they didn't take a shot. But, that's Joe Biden's world. That's the world that you voted for out there. What is it, 80 million? 80 million votes. The guy never got out of his basement. He was sent to the woodshed by Kamala a couple times during the Democratic debates. She basically called him a racist and a segregationist. Now she's best buddies. They're pals. Let me just give you a couple things before we go to break on Joe Biden's America. Gasoline is up 49.6%. Used cars, 37% increase. Gas utilities, 24%. Meat, fish, and eggs, 12%. New cars, 11%. Food at home is up 6.5. Electricity, 6.3. Food away from home, 6.0. Clothes, 5.8. This is up. Transportation, 4.2. Shelter, 4.1. Inflation rises over 7%, the highest since 1982. He thinks he's doing a great job. I don't think so. I'm not happy with him. But we're stuck with the guy. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Listen, I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Sheri Few. And stay with us because it'll be an interesting conversation about the critical race theory and how it's going to affect your kids in this nation. You're listening to TalkOne Radio. All right, folks, we're back. Thanks for hanging around. I'm glad you did. Next and on the docket is Sheri Few, president of U.S. Parents Involved in Education on a national level. And she also serves as the president and CEO on a state level. She's from upstate South Carolina. She's been involved in politics for, well, let's just say quite a few years. She's not a rookie to this. She's been very helpful in the South Carolina GOP Executive Committee, local chairman, executive committee person, and she's the past president of Kershaw County Republican Women and lifetime member of the South Carolina General Assembly, and a true expert at CRT. Let's welcome her to the show now. Sheri, good evening. How are you? Okay, you're muted somehow. Can you hear me now? Okay, I don't know. You're muted right now, so I don't know what. I still can't hear you. I can't hear you at all. I'm sorry to say that. If you look at the bottom of the link itself, the video link that you're on, and if you see anything that resembles a microphone, if you can unmute that. I don't have you at all on that. I don't know what to tell you here. Let's do this. Let me take you off screen real quick. And if you can hear me, I'll tell you what, why don't you just, if you can give us a call at 1-843-800-1492. And we'll take you off the screen here. And we'll just go with the audio portion of. These things happen, folks. I don't know why. The mysteries. Sheri, thanks for joining us. I'm sorry for the technical problems that we had. It's always a challenge when these things go wrong on a live show. Okay, great. I hear you loud and clear. We're not going to be able to use the video portion of the show, but we certainly can go with the audio. Welcome to the show. Sure, absolutely. Tell me about your involvement in this U.S. Parents Involved in Education, please. Tell everybody what's that all about. Right. Oh, that's a big chore. That's a big chore. When How many people are in your organization? Wow, that's nice. You know how these people that are attending these school board meetings have been labeled and pigeonholed as domestic terrorists by the DOJ and the Biden administration. Absolutely, absolutely. What do you run any type of training or provide any type of written material that people can, if they want to go and you know, put draw the line in the sand at some of these school board meetings? Do you have any teachers that are involved in your organization? Sure. Right. Right. Have you had any pushback from any other organizations, that may not take kindly to you? Right. No, sure. Right. Yeah, this runs hand in hand with the 1619 project, doesn't it? Sure, absolutely. And now they want to attach the negativity is always attached to the color of a person's skin now. Wow. Yeah, that's the values this country was built on. Right. Right. Sure. Right. Well, isn't Florida? They're outlawing CRT in their curriculums in Florida right now, right? Right. 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 That's horrible. you know who's who's left out in this whole critical race theory play are the Asians. They're not even mentioned. This is not even they might be subsetted with the whites, but they're still being discriminated against regularly in the academic world. No. Wow. Right. Well, if that's so true, how are you going to explain all the professional people of color that are bank presidents, scientists, astronauts? I mean, I could go on and on. And the Asians they're taking care of themselves. They outperform everyone. Right. There you go. Right. Absolutely. What does your organization need currently? Are you looking for more volunteers, financial help? What? I agree 100%. Is the book that you mentioned, is that available on Amazon? Is that all right? Very good. And how about the Truth and Lies in American Education? That film, where is that going to debut? How can people watch it? They have to go through your website or what? Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I wish you well with your project. It seems quite deep. One thing that I want to ask you, though, when you made the observation about the CRT is not actually a curriculum, how can parents identify what their kids are learning? Like, I mean, you take a 5, 6-year-old kid that comes home with, or is being told, about sexuality at that age, or what have you, or all the race hate that's being promoted by these teachers to these young people. How do you identify that? By being involved with your kid, I guess. All right, very good. Well, Sheri, it's been a great 30 minutes with you. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties that we had, but I think we got through to the substance of what you are talking about. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great evening. All right, folks. That was a nice interview with a nice woman. I'll tell you, she's chopping the wood for your kids right now, and we couldn't thank her enough. Go to USPIE.org, USPIE.org for more information. Sheri Few, she's obviously her and her daughter, I believe, April, are hammering away at the insidious CRT that's trying to become the norm in this country. And like Sheri said, went from Common Core directly into this 1619 project and now CRT that is divisive, and is doing nothing but poisoning our kids' minds with this stuff. Even at a young age, they have no scruples at all. I thank her for that. Please support Sheri, and she's got the movie coming out, Truth and Lies in American Education. You can find out more about that by going to truthandliesfilm.us. or contacting Sheri at USPIE.org. We'll be going on a break right now. We'll be right back. You're listening to TalkOne Radio. All right, got to thank Sheri Few once again. This is Al Flowers. You're listening to TalkOne Radio and on the TalkOne Radio Network. 807 in Bluffton, South Carolina tonight. Temperatures down to about 46 degrees now. Going to be dropping to the mid-30s, they say. So, as I always say, keep those brass monkeys inside tonight, please. All right, the EFIT Club. I'm going to be jumping into the program. They have a 30-day Get Healthy program, weight loss program. That's for me because I've been down and out for the last 90 days, except for a little walking here and there. Getting back playing tennis now. So, but after open heart surgery, you got to do something. 7-day free pass is offered by EFIT Club Fitness Connected. If you mention TalkOne Radio, EFIT Club is located in the Belfair Town Village on the east side of Kroger's, the old Kroger's on 278. You can give Jay a call for a tour, 843-707-9771. It'll take you from zero to hero before you know it. Move at your own pace. People are educated, certified, and they have nothing but care in their mind and in their heart. So check them out, the eFit Club. Before my operation, I was hitting it hard over there and feeling great. And now I'm going to do the same thing starting on the 17th of this month. Our first class starts, and I can't wait to get going. Total new revamping of the eating app, the whole bit. So, going to measure out stuff and stay healthy, get healthy. And when the people listening, a lot of us are over 60, 65 years old. Listen, it's time to really start taking care of the old jalopy now. The body won't last but another 10 or 20 years, hopefully more. But let's try to do our best to add those years on. Head on over to eFit Club, please. It's a great place to work out. 843-707-9771. Wounded Spirits is an organization that takes a biblical approach to dealing with the effects of post-traumatic stress, depression, etc. If you're a combat veteran, first responder, or just someone that's struggling with life, please give Steve or Lucinda a call, 703-606-3858. They hold workshops about every 2 weeks. The next one is January 15th, Introduction to Wounded Spirits and PTSD, located at Beaufort Town Center Building, 3rd floor training office at 2015 Boundary Street. You enter through the glass double doors between Jimmy John's and Moe's. So I wouldn't eat, though, because they want the head count. If you call that number, 703-606-3858, that'll give an idea. I guess they put on a little spread for you. This workshop starts at 10 o'clock a.m. and runs till noon. It's completely free and confidential. They're not clinical type people. They're biblical type people. So you're going to get a good amount of loving and caring from these folks. And they have access to resources that they can steer you here or there, or just give you a big hug and tell you it's going to be all right. Steve is a combat veteran himself. And do yourself a favor. Check him out. It's free and confidential. Give him a call, 703-606-3858 for the Wounded Spirits organization. Listen, I just had a great Sunday. We tried out a new church. I'm going to give them a little plug here. I hope you don't mind. It's the City Hope Church. They're meeting it's a non-denominational evangelical type church, Jesus-based and God-loving. They got a great young pastor. His name is Bobby Thompson. He put together a whole administration of people that are just got nothing but love in their heart, love for God, love for Jesus, and they're doing the right thing. And they're doing it on a shoestring, basically. They're a startup event. I'll hold this up. I hope it shows City Hope right there, City Hope Church. They kick off Sunday, if you want to try them out, 10 o'clock at John Paul II School. Just turn into the John Paul complex over there and follow the signs. And their kind parking lot attendants will point you right to a front row spot. I recommend it highly. Very nice. Not over the top, not a lot of smoke and mirrors, not a lot of stuff. I'll just say that. It's a really nice place to go. The other place I went last night, it was awesome. I didn't even know this place existed. I'm a fisherman. I love fishing. I find it very cathartic for me. I just, I don't keep any of the fish that I catch. I throw them back. But I stopped by Southern Drawl Outfitters and Coastal Fly Shop. Paul Duffy is the owner right there. Let me see if I can get this. There you go. Sorry, I didn't have time to do the right thing with this, so I'm just going to hold up the card. Paul Duffy at Southern Drawl. You can reach him at 843-705-6010. they have classes. I took a class called Where's the Fish for the local area, and it was supposed to only last an hour. It was like 90 minutes plus. And, he offered refreshments and everything, and it's a full service fishing shop for fly casters and regular fishermen. He has live bait there. Here's his philosophy. No matter the mastery level, our goal is to understand, educate, and outfit the angler for success. Doesn't get any better than that, folks. And it's right in our own backyard. I didn't even know about this. He's been around for 12, 13 years now at different locations. But I think the place he has now is the Butte. It's a beautiful shop. You ought to stop by and see him at Southern Draw. So that's that. Thanks again to Sheri Few for joining us. Please go to USPIE.org if you're concerned about your kids' education or your grandkids' education. Surprising to me that they don't present this as a curriculum. This isn't like, they hand out the lesson plan book for CRT. This is what I would consider much more nefarious than that they, slip and slide this, involved little misinformation, I'll call it that. That's the best I can do on that. They slide that into your kid's brain, and then they tell you your kid, don't bring that home to your parents. Turn in your worksheet with us. But if you want to stop this nonsense, Sheri Few and company are the people that you want to get a hold of. It's USPIE.org. Please check them out. Now, on the lighter side, I want to play this. It's about a 2-minute gig, but it's called the COVID Derby, and I think you'll enjoy it. I thought it was really good. There you go. There you go. How funny is that? Track and trace still running. The fourth booster. Oh, I have no idea. Well, hopefully my voice is coming through. I guess it didn't play. Oh boy. I'll tell you, this is really getting arduous sometimes. But we're going to hang in there, folks. We're not going to run away from this. This is what we do. Let me see here if I can. I'll put this. Switching gears off of the COVID deal real quick. I want to play this deal by. I pulled this off the internet. This Tucker Carlson. He's not my favorite kind of guy, but he does talk about this Ray Epps guy that was encouraging everybody around him, so much so that they even during January 6th, that the people were yelling "Fed, Fed, Fed." They knew the guy was up to no good. And now the DOJ is, who's Ray Epps? We don't know anything about him. He was on the most wanted list there for a while, and then he all of a sudden fell off. He's no longer on it. But let's see if this will come through for you. What a liar. Yeah, right. Well, there you go. See, the operation of the DOJ, FBI during this January 6th operation, whatever it was, rally, protest, whatever, is suspect in my mind. I mean, they act like, what's the problem? You know, we have 60 or 80 people still locked up over this, yet there's no culpability for any of these Summer of Love protesters, fire bombers that were throwing Molotov cocktails not only at a federal building, but throwing them at police officers with the intent to kill or injure. They're all, you know, out on $200 bail. Yet these other people that are that happen to attend this rally or whatever you want to call it, riot. I mean, for the ones that broke in and did damage to the Capitol and terrorized people and attacked police officers, they have to get punished, period. Well, let's have due process. Let's have speedy trial. Let's have bail. They're being held without bail. Some people that are, you know, were just tracked. You were there. What were you doing? Oh, you got to come with us. You broke the law. And all of a sudden they find themselves in a DC prison. I mean, it's political prisoners. It's the gulag, the American gulag. If you want to know more about that, you got to check out americangulag.org. A lot more information available on that website about what's going on with these people and some of the things that are swirling around this January 6th problem. I mean, my trigger is this Ashley Babbitt thing. I mean, I am absolutely, it's unbelievable to me that somebody could shoot this woman in the face. I mean, it's unreal. But Ray Epps, nobody knows him now. He used to be on the Public Enemy #1. He was right on the list of the most egregious types. Then they interviewed him in secret. The Democrats interviewed this guy. Oh, there's nothing wrong with him. He's no problem. Let him go. He's from Arizona. You can find him, I guess, if you want. I don't care about the guy. I don't know anything about him other than that, other than all those videos that came out where he was instigating people to take the building, get up there, pull those boundaries down. I mean, he's whispering to all these people. It's unreal. It's unreal. So, I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to try to do something here. I understand that the COVID Derby did not come out across the old airways. I'm not happy about that, of course. And let's see if I can't make that happen here real quick. I don't think so. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let me just work it because I think it's a kind of a cute little deal. I'm going to run it again. Forgive me if there we go. Check it out, folks. There you go. There you go. I thought that was a kind of a funny twist to the whole operation there. Right along this avenue, I'd like to run this little thing. Here's the great pretender, Dr. Fauci. He's giving you a little bit of a truth serum here. That's, come on, man. That's it. They're going to shut down the virus. That's what Joe said. That was his mantra. That was his hue and cry. Here's another little slip of the tongue from Joe Biden regarding, listen up for this one. It's a Freudian slip where he says stolen votes. Watch this. Huh. Huh. Yeah. That's your president for you. Quite a guy. Quite a guy. I can probably say I didn't vote for that numbskull. I don't know. I guess everything's okay. You like high prices, and this guy has the audacity to say, "Well, look at the stock market. It's blowing up." Yeah, it's blowing up. All right. It's coming down, and when it does, it's going to be ugly. I don't know. It's a horrible deal. Yeah, people are talking about their kids. Their behavior is worse when they're home, when they're on lockdown. It's causing quite a stir in the family environment. And it's showing up when they go to school, when they come home. They're going to be closing down schools again, folks. I can guarantee you that. Beaufort County is just kind of rubbing their hands together. The school board over here, they cannot wait to impose their will on you. And these poor kids are going to, it's not bad enough that they have to go to school with these masks on, but they're going to have to, stay at home with mom and dad. And like I said earlier in the program, you're going to have, people are going to have to take leaves of absence from the job or FMLA. and say, I can't come because I got child care issues. We can't afford child care because, this is, I'm not, you bring a child into the world, you should think a little further ahead than that. You can't worry about your career, whatever it may be, when you start bringing children into society here. When you start building a family unit, you are changed forever. And those of you with children understand what I'm talking about. Your time has ended. Your time is spent developing character, teaching, and loving those kids, hopefully. Not necessarily in that order. But now, if you both have to work to make ends meet, I don't know, that's a sad thing too. But then that runs into, well, that's why we have to pay them a living wage if they work at McDonald's. Well, they're going to automate McDonald's here pretty soon. They're already working on it. So you're not going to have those entry level jobs anymore. And what are you going to have? A bunch of people that went to, they got their education at these universities and colleges, and there's not much of a call for, we got enough sociologists, and we got enough lawyers, and we got enough music appreciation students and humanities students to sink a boat. What we need is more people that are working in the trades, because, everybody needs a house sometime, somewhere, someplace to live. Carpenters, plumbers, electricians. These are honorable jobs. Sales. Go and learn get a 2-year certificated program, and then get your apprentice card and get into the journeyman, and you start making some money. It's a chore. Yeah, it's hard work. Yes, you got to get up. You got to show up. You can't just go to the library and study and party on the weekends and take your test and get an A, and then, I made the dean's list. Nobody cares about that. When you leave, you left. The show's over. The university corporation no longer needs you. And off you go. Now you're end up and you find yourself in your parents' basement, back living with mom and dad as a 22-year-old, zero experience person. I don't know. I don't recommend college or university to anybody. I would go to a trade school in a New York minute, or join the military and get a trade there. At least you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. At least you're serving your country, number 1. Number 2, you're getting a great education, top shelf stuff. Especially with the technology that's being used in the military today, like the U.S. Space Force. Are you kidding me? When I was in, it was run by the Air Defense Command, and I did all my work in, well, not all of it, but several years in the space. I wasn't in space, but we tracked satellites and took information from them and disseminated it. But that's here and over there. I don't know what the charter schools are still letting the kids show up for school. Isn't that funny? Isn't that something? Charter schools across the nation are still allowing their children to show up and get taught. Not these schools that are like in Chicago. The union shut them down. Philly's same. I don't know. Time to homeschool your kids. That's what I would be doing. I wouldn't allow them to get involved in this CRT, how they're sliding in. That was very interesting to me that Sheri Few said that it's not like a regular curriculum. This is being piecemealed in and delivered to these children. They're children. I mean, we all heard the stories about these sixth graders being taught how to masturbate and all this other stuff. I mean, this is insanity. You know, that's not the spirit of what a teacher is. I don't think is to bend over backwards for a political cause, for enlightenment. Just teach the basic stuff: reading, writing, and arithmetic, please, and history. How about that? Do we have warts in our country historically? Yes. Teach them, learn from them. No, this is a perpetuation of make everyone a victim. Pick out somebody that you don't like and then make them the enemy. And pretty soon it's re-education camps for you folks. I hope it doesn't ever come to that, but I don't have too much of a, I'm not really putting all my eggs in that basket. I'm running third and heading home, man. I mean, I'm in the autumn years. So it's my grandkids that I wonder what's going to happen to them. You know, if they don't comply, like ask your college age students, if you have any in your family, if you write a paper that goes against what the professor is teaching you, let's say you have a different opinion or a different set of ideas that you want to put forth or beliefs that you want to put down on paper concerning something as innocent as poverty or the slavery, for an example, the civil rights movement. And if it's contrary to what that Marxist is teaching you, you can guarantee you're going to get an F. But if you chime in, go right along, no problem. What a good boy or girl. What a good boy or girl. I don't know. What are we going to be doing here in 2022 in November? Who knows? Let me take one more break for the contract and we'll be right back. Close the show out here. All right, folks. Thanks for sticking with me. About another, 15 minutes to go, 14 minutes to go. And we'll be done with a Wednesday, looking towards Friday. We'll see what Friday brings. Jury's still out on that. So we'll let you know. Keep an eye on our calendar, please, and see what's happening here. All right. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast about Quebec, and they are going to significantly tax unvaccinated Canadians. It says, get the jab or pay a tax. It's a simple message that the premier of the French-speaking Canadian province of Quebec delivered Tuesday when he warned adults who don't get the coronavirus vaccination, they will be hit with financial penalty. Now, only 10% of the adults in Quebec have not been vaccinated, but if there's only one, and then you're going to declare them to be penalized, that is insanity. Now, some European countries, there's people in this country that think we should all be like Europe. I don't think so. They have started levying fines on their citizens who are not vaccinated. Austria's health minister announced last month that the government plans to impose fines of $4,000 US dollars on people who ignore the COVID vaccine mandate that it aims to introduce in February for all ages 14 and over. In Greece, people older than 60 have till Sunday to get their first COVID shots or be fined $113 every month they remain unvaccinated. In Greece, here's a country that's a complete shambles. They are so far underwater as far as their budget goes to run the country that they're borrowing money left and right from anybody that'll give them money to run their country. So now they're going to start nicking their own population 100 euros or $113 US dollars every month that they're not vaccinated. Hey, I wouldn't. This would not surprise me if Joe Biden doesn't pop through the window like John Madden in a Miller Lite commercial and say, we're going to find all those people that aren't vaccinated. We're no longer going to take it out on small business. We're going to just find the individuals that are not compliant. Scary. I mean, over in Australia, you know what's going on over there. They don't know. They let Novak Djokovic out of confinement briefly, but then they're talking about canceling his visa. So if I were him, I would get on the next private jet leaving and never to be hit that soil again. That would be it. And let's see, and then take all the WTA, ATP players and those with any gumption and say, we're not playing there anymore. I wouldn't play in Melbourne ever. It's become a true penal colony. It's retroed back into its original form. So, I mean, now, if you're not vaccinated, you can't go outside for anything. You can go to the hospital. That's about it. You're not allowed to go to work. If you're not vaccinated, you can't go to work, even if you're masked up. No vaccination, no worky. No worky, no money. Then what happens? You get thrown out of your house, can't pay your mortgage, can't pay your rent. You're going to live on the street. They gather you up, put you in a camp. Gulags. Go to AmericanGulag.org. Check it all out. Interesting website. Interesting. Absolutely crazy. Where we're going to go? Where are we going in this country? That's what I want to know. Because, the Democrats jump from one thing to another. It's like, that didn't work, so this is going to work. So I'm going to go here. This is happening. Nobody's talking about what's going on the southern boundary. Nobody. Mainstream media is ignoring it. It's still, the caravans are still coming, folks. Thousands of people are coming across that boundary nightly. The getaways are outnumbering the ones that are being caught because Border Patrol cannot be everywhere all the time. I mean, they have the technology that they see them coming across. They can't do jack about it. They don't have the resources. This Mayorkas, he doesn't care. He's just a tool. I don't know, when they start bringing them to Sun City, we're going to have a problem. You're going to hear a lot of whining and gnashing of teeth if that's the case. How about we send them up to the Hamptons, Cape Cod? Let them crash in some of those beautiful cottages up there that are billions of dollars. Or better yet, let them stay at the Kennedy compound up there. I've been there. It's huge. I could have a small city living there. Why not? Give them all driver's license. Give them a stipend. Give them EBT cards. Let them shop at the local places. Who's going to pay for all that? Who is going to pay for all that? I saw an interview by DeSantis. He says they're operating in a plus budget down in Florida, by the way. For all you blue governors, you got to take note. They have a surplus there. He said, we're going to take some of that surplus, and if they ship people here, we're going to put them on buses and ship them to Delaware. We're not keeping them. We cannot withstand the onslaught. I don't know what they're doing in Texas. I mentioned this earlier. These small towns that are border towns are being inundated with people. Now, as Americans, you try to be as charitable as you can. But, there's only so much you can give. Everybody's not a movie star that lives behind a 12-foot high brick wall with lattice and a security team that stands in front of Fort Knox gates with dogs. And they all have guns, but they complain about people with guns. They're not going to be troubled by all this. Their life goes on. They still go down, eat at Nobu, go down to Beverly Hills. Talking about Beverly Hills, these smash and grabs are now going absolutely berserk. They just hit a jewelry store in Beverly Hills, took over $80 million worth of vintage and super expensive watches. They just walked in, smashed all whole cases up, took whatever they wanted and left. The police show up a half hour later, an hour later, they're long gone, baby. Now, how would you feel if you owned a small business and let's say you were a small jewelry store and people just walked through the door, started smashing the display cases and taking all your inventory? Are there going to be people out there that say, well, you deserved it? Because I know somebody that thinks that Ashley Babbitt, that makes her murder makes him happy. This is something that gives him a warm fuzzy. Obviously, he's never been exposed to that kind of violence. You know, he's your typical. I guarantee you, the guy never spent a day in the service. Never, ever. You know, but he's likes to talk tough. He's not tough. I know he's not listening either, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not challenging him to an arm wrestling deal or anything like that. I don't have any interest in that. I just think he's a sad individual that thinks that a woman that gets shot in the face from 30 feet, he thinks that it's a good thing. Gives him a warm fuzzy. Just take this out of this program tonight. CRT is a real thing. If you want to know more about it, go to USPIE.org. Check out Sheri Few. She's been around. She's been working with the South Carolina GOP. She's run for political office. She's got her shoulder on the stone, her and her daughter. They're working as hard as they can to expose CRT for what it is. Hate. It's being taught to our kids. They're trying to indoctrinate our kids. You look at these universities and colleges, if you don't think your kid comes back from there a little tilted, then you better start asking some really tight questions. Because I know when our daughter came back from a prestigious university in Ohio, I was blown away. I was like, what happened to my daughter? But it's happening all across the country. These people are training these young minds to disregard your parents. They're wrong. They're part of the problem, you know. And then that just blows up the whole family unit. And hard feelings prevail, and love takes a crack right on the nose. It's hard to deal with that kind of stuff. But now they're even starting with these kids, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. I mean, it's our lifestyle, our country is in peril. And we need to take it back, not violently, but attend those school board meetings, voice your concerns in a respectful manner, but just keep the pressure on. Don't threaten anybody. Don't give them a reason to, put a Fed on you or anything like that. Do not jeopardize your livelihood by doing something that can be interpreted as breaking the law. That's the last thing you need to do is put yourself in that kind of trick bag. You have a right to protest things. Do it the right way. Don't give them an excuse to sink your ship and your family's ship. Stay afloat to fight another day. Don't take every battle as winning the war. We can do it. There's enough good, patriotic Americans in this country of all colors, of all persuasions, that understand and love this country for what it is, warts and all. We cannot legislate our way into behaviors. That's the communist way. That's the Chinese way to do things. You either listen to us or we throw you in jail. Or we take we take your job from you. We take your kids out of school. They cannot go to school anymore. Listen, there's a whole dark side of this whole thing. Let's keep ours on the upside. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I want to thank Sheri Few for being with us. Again, I apologize for the breakdown of the trying to get the video in there, but we did get your voice in there, and that's all that's important to me. That'll be replaying tonight, and you can listen to that on any of our podcast channels. We're across the board on all of them: Podbean, Apple, iHeart, Pandora, etc., etc. So check it out. We hope to see you Friday. If not, I will see you on Monday. Well, it depends on what's going on. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to thank you again for joining us. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you on Friday, hopefully. This is Al Flowers for TalkOne Radio. Have a great night.
You've been listening to the finest in conservative talk radio. TalkOne Radio. Broadcasting live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Taking your calls at 1-843-800-1492. Hey, would you do us a big favor? Please make sure that you like or share this content with your family and friends. And visit our website with comments or questions at TalkOneRadio.com, where you can listen to our podcast, now available on iTunes, iHeart, TuneIn, Podbean, and other platforms including Radio Max, so you can listen to us while you're on the go. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time right here on the Low Country's finest conservative talk radio. TalkOne Radio. This broadcast production has been brought to you by the TalkOne Radio Network.